So can you just introduce yourself quickly?
Yeah, so I'm Matt Harris. I am the Managing Director and Senior Vice President of a region of HPE, which is the UK, Ireland, the Middle East and Africa, which basically is the longest acronym title in the world for HPE, which is also an acronym.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So a fairly major position, one would say. I would say.
It means most people I meet, I have a bigger quota than them.
Right, okay. Yeah, around the world, because you've got one hell of a region.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a very diverse region, different continents, different countries, different markets, and obviously we're a massive business now as well. Yeah. So, but I've been in the company for 22 years, so I've done lots of jobs, but this is definitely the best one I've ever had. We were trying
to work out how old you were earlier, because there was a line I was going to use, but we shall see. You can correct me if I got it wrong.
Don't be. I'm younger than my hair colour would suggest.
Yeah.
But wiser than I look.
But 22 years, I could also work it out. Did you go to university?
I did. Yeah.
Oh right. So okay. So I think we might be all right. So Joe. Thank you very much, mate. Joe, tell us about yourself.
Pete, thanks for having me back on FGS TV. 4-year hiatus, and I know a few of my colleagues have been on since. So I've got the great privilege to run digital sales.
Which means what?
Digital sales, good point. Yeah, I should clarify that. So digital sales are the accounts that we think are best served in a digital manner. So those customers often reach us via email, video call. We do a lot of our work can operate from one of our offices within the region. That's not to say we don't go meet customers every opportunity we get.
So you're not external sales, they're not going to see, with your teams, they're not going to see clients, but they're doing calls with them.
No, we'll go.
Are you going to see them as well?
We'll go see them,
Okay.
Happily, yeah. I mean, I love it when the team are out and about prospecting and meeting customers. We think a lot of our engagement can happen initially or originally via digital means, and then we go out and make those important connections. And so often we do it through the channel.
And Hannah.
Yes, thank you for having me. So I work in Joe's org for UKIMEA, looking after the digital tools and processes for the DSRs. So that means helping them identify...
Sorry, what's a DSR?
Digital sales rep.
Yeah. Right, okay.
So helping them identify the right personas, the right accounts to reach out to, what tools they're going to use to complete the outreach, and then track the opportunities, and then any processes that maybe are a little bit cumbersome, how can I support them to complete that?
Okay, excellent. Right, just to give you a bit of a view of what we're going to go through, some of it's going to be HPE, some of it's going to be partner, some of it's going to be industry. So I'll let you choose who's going to answer what. And if you want to ask me questions, you're more than welcome. But one of the things I will go straight into actually is the current situation with supply, demand, pricing at the moment, especially with the RAM situation, DRAM, etc., and how long we think this might last, because we're seeing changes. And we were hearing, you look at the portals and it says it's going to be 6 months. We've not encountered that actually. We've had things come through fairly quickly, slightly longer than they were a few months ago or 6 months ago, but it has not been too bad as in supply, but costs have obviously gone up. So I think it's probably you, Matt, to be honest. Yeah.
I get all the good ones.
You do. So I know you haven't got a crystal ball and you don't know when this is all going to come down or whether it's going to come down to the levels it was before. Why has it happened? And what's the impact, and then when do you think we might come out of it?
Yeah, I don't know when we'll come out of it. And if I did, I'd be like a market trader. I wouldn't be running an IT sales organisation. But what we can look at is a few facts that help maybe guide us. And I'm in a privileged position of, when you're in a large organisation like HPE, which has an enormous supply chain, and you're a big procurer of components and a big seller of those through our partner communities to our customers, I think we've got a pretty good handle of the situation. So first of all, like what's happened?
Yep.
There's been a huge build out of AI data centers, and the biggest of those are the hyperscale cloud providers. The large language model creators, so think Claude with Anthropic or OpenAI, or even Elon Musk with X and his big investments. And at the end of...
So all the big ones we've heard of, like the Metas,
all the big
AWS, like all of these people.
Yeah, and on top of that, then you've also then got also sovereign governments who are building their kind of national systems.
Yeah.
You have got a big AI startup community who all want lots of compute power. And what happened at the back end of 2025 and through the winter that we've just experienced, this mass investment in that area and the continued investment, and what you can go and look at from a data point and a factual point of view, if you go and look at some of those big companies I referenced, who all trade publicly, they will talk in their quarterly earnings announcements how much they're going to spend, how much capital outlay they're going to make in the remainder of 26 and 27 and into 28. And if you go and look at those figures, they are staggering. And what they are buying there, by the way, are compute, chips, RAM, SSDs, etc. What we also know is...
So you know how much demand is going to be from those people because it's out there.
Significant.
Okay. Yeah.
What we don't know is, well, is more supply coming online? Right. Now, what we do know, to actually create this, the supply, if you are a memory provider, you've got to go and increase your factory capacity, or you might be a new business that wants to go and do that. That's a huge investment.
Yeah, and it could take a year or two.
It could take take longer.
Right.
And then also you need to question yourself of do any of those providers have any motivation to go and do that?
Because the price is high.
Because the price is high, and guess what? People are paying it.
Yeah.
So fundamentally, the reason we haven't seen elongation in lead times as severe as costs going up, there is fundamentally more demand in the market than the market can supply. There was a conference I was at where a very senior person in our industry talked about the ability of a large company like an HPE could sell all of the memory that we could buy for the remainder of the year to one customer.
My word.
One. So because of that, I don't think we're in a hype cycle. If you remember the last cycle where we saw elongation of supply chains, it was the semiconductor challenge.
Yep.
And the reason that's different to memory, memory, if you're buying a server now, anywhere between 60 or 70% of the cost of a server is memory. So it's massive. And second of all, these organizations have got demand profiles for the next 2 years. The market's paying for it. So I think we're actually in a world where the market is reset, as in this is how much things are going to cost.
And they stay there.
Now what we have, to out scaremonger everybody, if you look at the remainder of this year, we are still seeing costs go up, but we're starting to see that flatten out. The velocity of the increase is not severe.
We've noticed it flatten out.
And I think that's because you're getting to a point now where certain customers are going, I just can't pay that, or I'm going to sweat my asset for a bit longer. The danger, though, at the moment is I think customers are hoping it will blow over. And you're going to get to a point where customers go, I might have sweated that asset from 5 years to 6 or 7. Things are still expensive. And I don't fancy paying 5 times, 10 times, whatever it is for my equipment. I need a plan B. And I think now helping customers in that plan B is the most important thing the channel and us as vendors can do.
No, I appreciate that. We're seeing it, and it's affecting our clients, especially clients who are sweating their assets. And so we're having to help them. So I'm just saying to them, if you've got a business reason for doing it, and you've got a time limit on that, you have to do it by X, you haven't got a lot of choice. But there are ways sometimes around it. We did a fairly major deal recently. We run the big gambling firms, and we used FS, we used Renew, and we used New, and we mixed it all up. Just to get them over the line. For the World Cup, as it happens, because they couldn't get it before the World Cup. So you've got to be innovative now.
You've got to be smarter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's not you want some of those, let me go and get a quote for you, or get my pre-sales guy to configure it. I think you've got to pull all the levers, because I say to all the time, I think it's really hard to be a customer at the moment. You come from 2025, and if you are a VMware customer, Broadcom changed the whole cost landscape of you. You got into 2026 and everything got more expensive. You've got to try and work out this AI thing that's coming really quickly. And I think what I'm starting to see is customers who had lots of loyalty or preconception of this is the way I operate, these are my preferred vendors, are like tearing that up and going, right, what is the art of the possible? Is there an alternative out there on a licensing perspective? Is Renew equipment all right for me? how do I finance this to smooth the cost? And I think where we feel really privileged in HPE is we've got quite a lot of capability in a lot of ways to help.
You've got FS, you can help.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You've got Renew, you've got the lot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It really, yeah.
All sorts of things. And actually, we've created lots of suites of packages for our sellers to arm them with conversation with customers and our partners, and hopefully you've received them, of this is how we think you need to navigate a conversation. And if you're not doing it, if a customer hasn't already got in the queue for the supply chain, they're not going to like the price whoever they buy from.
No, absolutely.
But there are certain ways where we can reduce that price significantly, because what I think is yet to really hit customers is typically any customer that's IT budget will be anywhere between 6 and 7% of their total revenue.
Yep.
And now, given licensing, infrastructure, AI requirement,
that's going up to 10, 12. Well,
maybe even 15.
Yeah,
and actually, if you're a business owner, you're sat there thinking, which you are, if you had to put 15% of your money on your IT, then you have to stop doing other things.
Yeah, a lot of companies profit EBITDA 2, 3, 4%. So if you're then putting another 5, 6, 7% on it, you're not making money.
Yeah.
And if you look at iGaming, for example, gambling industry, they're technology industries. I know everybody is, but their cost is not 6, 7%. It's up at 12 to start with.
Yeah.
So that's taken up to 20. So they're looking at operational costs reductions massively around. So we've got to be innovative with them.
Yeah.
And this is where working with people like HPE does help us.
Yeah.
And knowing people like yourselves and people like that, and how we can utilise that and how we can gauge what's happening in the future, and just give them guidance and just say, if anyone's telling you, because we get clients saying, no, we're speaking to Dell or we're speaking to somebody and they guarantee this and it's going to start happening. I said, no, they can't guarantee anything. Nobody knows when this is going to stop or if it's going to stop or when, so don't take these guarantees, because all you're going to do is tell your directors that you're going to guarantee this then, and it doesn't happen. So what do you look like? So you've just got to be honest. You've got to be honest with your clients and find ways to help them.
Yeah.
So talking about Broadcom, which is actually the next thing I've got written down as it happens. I don't often write them down, but I thought I'd better do.
You're prepared today, are you?
Yeah, I don't usually do this preparation, Lark, but I thought I'll show you a bit of respect here, Matt, yeah? So I've done a bit of preparation. It doesn't look that impressive, but there we are. Broadcom obviously shook the market up. They're probably doing what they did with Symantec, from what I said, top 500 companies in the world. That's all we're really interested in. If the others want to pay loads more, happy days, yeah? So we've seen a few clients move to things like Proxmox and things like this. We've got POCs in with VME, HPE's product. Do you want to take this one again? Sorry, we'll come to you too. Sorry about that, yeah. The virtualization market, because they did hold, I think, 92% of the market, VMware, I believe. So where do you see that going? Where do you see HPE making a difference? And I know it's a big question. 3 or 4 years' time, what percentages do you reckon they'll be out there?
Oh, you keep asking me to predict, Pete. I don't know if you're asking for financial
no,
advice.
No, I'm not. No. I'm just getting a feel of trends. Because you've probably got access to Gartners and all this. I'm not asking for that. So you've got more information than I have.
If you look at the hypervisor market as a good example, VMware have classically had incredibly large market share. They own that, which therefore, if there is a change in pricing structure, which has been a significant, as you referenced, it's impacting a large proportion of the market. What the argument, I think, and I'm not here to talk about competitors, the business thesis is there, well, actually, if we're market leaders and we've got the best product or we've got this amount of share, we should be charging lots more money. And by the way, I think it is an incredible offer that you get with them. However, there are really great alternatives. And going back to my previous comment around the economics of running IT, I think customers now are going, well, actually, let's, all bets are off. How would I go and do this again more smartly? And I think it would be naive for anyone to go, well, if I just move from this licensing provider A to B, you might save some money, which is good. But then a lot of customers I speak to say, well, am I just locking my dependency in with somebody B?
And they've not got the skill set.
And they might
How many people have got the skill set of VMware? Everybody.
Yeah.
How many have got the skill set with other people? We're seeing, sorry, I'm going to jump in, I know you asked me the question. We're seeing quite a lot of clients now within the test and dev environment moving away from VMware, but within the production environment, VMware because it's got, it's really strong.
Yeah.
And it's got age with it. It's stable.
Yeah.
It's got all the features.
By the way,
Yeah.
that's where VMware also started in the test
dev
environment.
They did indeed.
And then
yeah,
they proved virtualization as a concept and
Yep.
how it could still maintain performance but also provide a great cost efficiency. And then there was confidence built that it moved into more production workloads and the rest is history, right? So I think the advice to customers needs to be, don't move from A to B, but actually how do you move away your dependency from one vendor?
Exactly right.
Let's be agnostic.
Yep.
How do you get agnosticity on the hypervisor layer? I think what the industry struggles with is we are used to making technologists making technology decisions. So your point around, there's loads of skill on the VMware capability, or I've used that for years and years, I feel comfortable with it. Now, who we've seen move the quickest are those who think about this from a financial lens. So we've got CFOs at huge clients going, I'm going to save hundreds of millions by not paying that renewal or moving away, or I'll pay that renewal now, but in 2 years' time, I need to have optionality. And what does that look like? And if I'm going to save hundreds of millions or tens of millions or even millions, depending on the size of your business, that is worth it. Which is why I think you're seeing a lot of innovation in this space from lots of software providers. You reference VME, so HPE bought a company called Morpheus that has an open standards KVM-based offer called VM Essentials, which we've continued to build more and more feature set out. And actually, a lot of the conversations we're having with customers and pursuits we're getting the finance people saying to the technical people, tell me why I shouldn't move that. And I think you're starting to see more options and multiple packages being bought by customers because they have to reduce the cost. And at the same time as the innovation comes through, and at our latest Discover event, if you were going to go and say, hey, does VME have feature X versus VMware or VCF or vSphere, and you go down them, now we've got to a point where it is almost identical and comparable. It's going to take time for the market to build the confidence, but there's great partners, yourselves included, who are doing great proof of concepts, walking people through live demos. We actually made a massive announcement to the channel, which we are giving VME for free for every channel partner with migration services, so you guys get to experience the benefit of reducing your IT costs. Really so loads going on in the space, and an essential given every customer's under pressure to do something about it. It would be tragic if the market walks into the next renewal and go back to their CFO or their board and go, me again, it's gone up again. Which is a high possibility.
Well, we've just, you may or may not know, I think they're the fifth biggest bank in the world, or in that space. No HPE in there at all. We've just got Morpheus in there as a POC. And today they've just asked, and this is on the back of what Broadcom did. They're spending over 100 million a year. I think that's just within Europe. And so we've got on the back of that, and now they've asked for 3,200 grand servers to look at, to move maybe Cisco UCS out. Not out totally, but that is where you're going back. The technical people know how to use UCS because they've used it forever. But actually, the cost differential there, and we were in there today. I wasn't, people like John, the team were in there. That's looking really good. And that's on the back, that's creating an opportunity on the back of Broadcom did. Now, don't get me wrong, Broadcom, brilliant. As in the product set's fantastic, and I understand their business model, and it's been very successful for them. But it does create opportunities, is what I'm saying. And so you've got to be smart, talking to customers about how you can help them. They're not going to get rid of it, VMware, hardly any, completely. But areas are there to be taken and help your client reduce their costs and keep themselves within budget or as close as they could. Especially with the servers and etc. going up, compute. So I think that's, I think it's really interesting. I think it's really exciting at the moment.
We just spoke just before this, Pete. That customer you reference is a digital sales customer, so we look forward to seeing that in the pipeline in the not too distant future. And we're talking a lot about the great VM reset as an opportunity to unlock value in the AI gold rush. So sometimes the two things can be linked.
Yeah.
A few customers we've spoken to recently have kind of secured a okay price with VMware for the next 3 years, for example. So I think they want to look at alternatives, and kudos to VMware for creating an industry and then giving everyone an opportunity to capitalise on it. HPE have been the beneficiaries for many years of what VMware have been able to provide. But as Matt mentioned, the fact that HPE has gone further than the brand that many people know in terms of ProLiant, but to offer a credible alternative in terms of hypervisor, is exactly the conversation people want to have at the time. And rather than just talking about servers, we can talk about so much more. And that's been an exciting conversation for everyone in digital sales.
I think it's a really exciting time at the moment. The industry, I've been in it since '83. This is the most exciting time I've ever had in the industry. Love it. Absolutely buoyed by it at the moment. And everyone says, oh, it's so hard to deal with Dell or HPE. I said, no, it's not. Well, I don't deal with Dell, but you know what I mean? I enjoy it. I've enjoyed the relationship. And going back, and I was mentioning it earlier, that's how they tried to work out your age, by the way.
I was going to ask you the same. Did you go to university?
No, I didn't. No.
University of Life?
Absolutely, yeah. I didn't go to university. I was just trying to work your age out. So if you've been here 22 years, so
well, I'm trying to work, you started the industry in 1983. I'm trying to work out
I'm 61. I'm properly old. You're right. I don't look. I took the words out of your mouth, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah.
Look great, Pete.
Yeah. So the first ProLiant I bought, I had 5 years working for Credit Lyonnais, the French bank, from '83 to '88. It was either in '85 or '86. I bought a ProLiant, compact ProLiant. How about that? And they are still the #1 selling server in the world.
Yep.
I mean, how fantastic's that? So I think you were probably the only other person alive when I did that. That's what we were trying to work out. That's what we were trying to work out. Yeah, I was alive. Because, but I was in my 20s then, so that's a bit embarrassing, really, looking at the age here.
So, Pete, I assume that might be the first generation of ProLiant.
Yeah.
And here you are 40 years later, still working with, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise it is now, but Compaq as I think it was then.
It was Compaq then, yeah.
Why 40 years later you're still working with HPE?
I've really enjoyed the Compaq relationship. I was a master ASE back in the Compaq days. I kept that going, and I'm still a master ASE now. So I do enjoy the technical side, though I probably couldn't do it anymore, but I understand the concepts. And I think when you're selling, you probably need to understand the concepts, holistic concepts, and not physically how to do it. If you have got anecdotal side you can bring up, that obviously helps, but it's not imperative. But you do need to understand what the things you're selling are for and how they help people's businesses. But the HPE side, Compaq side, I've always worked with them. So, and it's all overlapping, isn't it? So back in the day, I would have known chap Gould who ran the services at HPE Richmond at Compaq, and then it became Kevin Matthews, and it became yourselves, and they all overlap. And then you know everybody, and there's a real family feeling. Everyone would think, oh, HPE are massive, and they are massive. But I feel as though I'm treated really well by HPE, above my station, I feel. Yeah. And I know HPE are really partner-led, and we feel that as well. You know, if you work with Dell, they just nick your clients, it sounds, you know. But with HPE, I feel really comfortable. I feel as though I can pick the phone up, and I feel people just will listen and do, you know, they react. There was an incident I was saying over in Vegas that I've had a great conversation with today, you know, and I'm just thinking, yeah, people do listen. So for me, it's a great relationship. And I know there's quite a lot of younger people in the audience here, and you might not appreciate, I mean, the size of the brand is massive. And from the outside, that brand is as big as you get in the industry. You know, you're quite young and you'll think of Meta and this, but I think the HPE brand, you're not going to get bigger. So to utilise that brand, getting into clients, well respected, and I sound as though I'm just bigging this up, but it's how I feel. As you know, I've been HPE through and through for years, but that brand side is so big. You go elsewhere and you're thinking that they aren't like this. This is like, for me, a big family. And I hope people do appreciate it when they work here and work with. And it is with, it's not just I'm going to beat you up on price. You have to show the people who work at HPE respect why there are processes that are challenging sometimes, because you can't not have massive processes and real strict processes, otherwise you fly by night. You've got to have these. And I say to my guys who work for me, the girls, women who work for me, we wouldn't exist if HPE were the best logistics company in the world. That's why they need us. Yeah, and so feel good that sometimes it's frustrating, because it's frustrating for everybody. But that's not just HPE, that's every big vendor in the world, without a doubt. So I said, take that as a positive. We know our ways around HPE really, really well, because we know people, and you know, people like John Kaiser who've been, you know, he's been around forever as well. And we've been around, we understand how it works and we understand how to get things done. But there's a lot of trust there, I think. And
you mentioned about partnering, Pete. I think what would be really interesting to understand is, you know, HPE, we're a big supporter of our partners. We work with the channel a lot, but what does perfect partnering mean? What is it that HPE do so well that you continue to work with us? And is there anything, you know, post a sale that that we also do well, or anything that we could additionally do that would support you as a partner?
The partner side for me is that support. Is actually just that being there. And it might sound ridiculous, but the brand is so big that when we're in discussions with clients, we will always bring HPE in. We're not a partner that doesn't bring HPE in. They will be on pretty much every single call we do. And whether that account manager, an internal, or whoever it might be, or just a technical person, even if they've got nothing to say, that support means everything to us. Everything to us. And so I'm feeling part of the family. I know I've said the word a few times. We know the way around the pricing side. We are not here to beat people up. We're not somebody who's going to try and go to Disney and beat them up to cost -3 and stuff. Everyone needs to make some money. You know, we need to make a fair margin, otherwise we won't exist. But everyone needs to make a fair margin. And so respect the people who work there. You've got to respect the people who work, because they're only coming to work and doing a job. You look at all these people here, they're coming to work doing a job. You shout and scream at them, or vice versa, then you're not going to have a partnership. So it's having that trust and respect. There's, you know, we understand the processes are hard. Getting pricing out of maybe one of the challenges you always have. I can't see how you'll ever get around it, because clients get. They say that this is a really small example, but we have it quite a lot. They've got a big renewal on services, and then the day before they say, I just want to change a few bits. You're thinking, no, that's going to take a week, yeah? Because they're taking a few servers off 100 servers, or whatever it may be. And I say to them, no, this is really challenging. But that will always be a challenge, but I can't see how you can change that, because you've got to go through it. Someone's got to go through it. I don't think that's an AI thing. Maybe it is something in the future. But there are challenges like that, and you've got to then explain to clients that you've got to get this right early doors. Quick one, can I just quickly jump back to, I've forgotten what I was going to say now. I won't jump back to it. But there was something really important, but it will come back to me in a while. But no, the part.
While you're thinking about that, I think your point around things like precision in quoting, I think we can also forget, because we sell IT, like what it's actually doing. So the things that we've collectively sold to banks or hospitals or customers, this is like critical national infrastructure. And it is supporting like the very essence of business, that if it didn't work, or you had a big cyber breach, or you lost the data, or the thing fell over, businesses stop, or the economy can stop. And therefore, getting things like the quotation right to make sure you've got the right support levels on a something. I'd love it to be like instantaneous and AI to play a more active role that becomes accurate first time. But I'd like the precision of it, because in the event that something does go wrong and you need that support engineer, or you need your SLA that you rely on, or you need your, you need the configuration to be right, you want it to be right, because actually what it's doing is actually playing a massive role in our customers and the national economy. So I think we can sometimes underestimate what we sell and actually what it is doing for the world we live in.
Yeah, I mean the whole world is IT now.
Yeah.
absolutely. And the availability of that is critical, and the confidentiality of that, I mean, you're getting that to ISO 27001, we talk confidentiality, integrity, availability, but it's absolutely critical. It is critical. So what we do makes a massive difference to people's lives. And we're part of that. And making sure, I think the big thing we do, so I'm going to big a little bit of FGS here, is we've got written on the walls in our office challenge. Clients say they want this, we've got to challenge it. Because they might not know what they want. They might not know what's out there. They might not know what other people do. Say we deal with another 50 clients. You know, we're not massive. Then each one does the same thing in a different manner. You should be bringing that experience and saying, well, you say you want this, but maybe this is a better way. This is going to save you some money and give you a better solution. So don't just, oh, I've got price, I've got a load of serial numbers. We're not allowed to quote. I say, unless you can find out, and it was the, I know it's a little, sounds a bit naff, but it's the alphabet of, what's the business benefit? Is it cost effective? Doesn't mean cheap. And is it deliverable? Yeah. Now, whether that deliverable means you get it on time, or whether can you deliver that solution, then, but a business benefit, no one buys IT for a laugh. They buy it for a benefit. Now, if that's going from, and this is getting to the lowest common denominator, you buy a mouse because it makes you more productive as a person, yeah? So if you're more productive by 1% and that mouse costs you £5, there's a business benefit. It's cost effective, and you can actually probably get it the next day, so it's deliverable, yeah? You know, that's going the lowest end. But then people are looking for major things. That's even more important to challenge it. And so you've got to have experience and think, how can I challenge that in a way that doesn't make me come across aggressive, be trying to be humble, trying to assist you. And it is one of the challenges we get, and I know HPE, I'm sure, do get it. We get tenders that say, this is what we want. Thinking, well, it isn't really what you want, but it's a three quote system, and all you've got to be is cheaper. Well, actually, you're not even, I could go in and save you 40% when you're trying to save 2% on procurement. And that's a challenge for us. We struggle with that a lot. And I'm sure you see it, especially on public sector, where they come out with the specs. It's helping people and helping their lives, really, and helping their businesses. And that's what we feel as though you've got to do. So business benefit, why are they buying it? Is it cost effective? Doesn't mean it's cheap. And can you deliver that solution? And I think it's critical. And I think HPE, when you're talking to the likes of Joe, the Matt, the Adcos of this world, Charlies of this world, and people like that, they all get it. There's that holistic view. We are here to help, and that's how I'm really pleased you brought that up. We are here to make a difference, and not just to sell some stuff.
I feel like I've just been through the FGS sales enablement.
Brilliant, isn't it? You have. You have. But no, I'm proud of it, and I believe in it. I absolutely believe in it. I'm passionate about it. So,
Pete, we talk a lot about meaningfulness of work.
Just talk a lot.
Yeah. But customer's customer, like you kind of referenced it there, and like the public sector, we have public sector and digital sales, and when we deal with hospitals, it's putting data in doctors' hands. It frees up beds quicker, so the next poorly patient can be looked after, and it's with the justice system bringing time to justice down so that victims get an outcome quicker. They're the sort of stories I think you can go home and be proud to tell your mum, dad, boyfriend, girlfriend. You know, I've made a difference today, rather than how many servers I sold and how I'm doing against my quota. That's what I think brings the meaningfulness to work, and that's what we think a lot about. Not just what you're selling, but what's the reason you're selling it, and how will it make you proud to do what you did today. Yeah,
I'm proud of what we do. I'm proud of what we do together, to be quite honest. I really enjoy it. I was proud to be invited to Vegas. I am humbled. I always get invited, I know, but I am humbled to be invited.
So what's that experience like, Pete? So you've been, how many times have you done it? Maybe 10 times over the last 15 years or so?
Maybe a bit more, yeah.
What's the experience like as someone who goes and sees HPE kind of at its biggest and brightest?
It makes it more human. I mean, you get the keynotes, and they can be good or they can be average or whatever, and the different things. You're trying to find those little golden nuggets that you think, actually, they've thought about it and they're changing the channel this, they're doing something for us, and they've thought about it, and it's evolving, and I really enjoy that. I also enjoying meeting everybody. The networking side for me is really important. Meeting the other partners, what are they doing? Meeting the people within HPE, what's going on, and having that. Some people will be scared of you, Matt. Yeah, some of the partners are scared of you, just because of your position, to be honest. Yeah. But you then become human over there. I mean, you're human now, but you know what I mean. But some people are. They think, oh, there's Matt Harris. You actually know him, and it's as though I've been talking to the Pope. You know, and so bringing that into a human side, I think it's really, really important. That and you can talk to Matt or talk to yourself, and these people actually want to help. And I think the Vegas trip is really, really good. I mean, I'm getting old, it's getting tiring.
Sure. It's a significant investment of your time, and it's a long way to travel. And I guess from working at HPE, what I'm really proud to say is that the first day is dedicated to the partner community. Yeah. As far as I know, no other major vendor dedicates the first day of their big annual conference to their partners.
I don't know. I don't go to the other ones, but yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Too tiring.
It is too tiring.
You're too scared of people.
To be honest, it is so tiring, and actually I find it quite stressful because I like to keep up to date all the time. But when you wake up, the whole day's gone in the UK or in Malta, where are other companies. It's gone, and then you're on to the full day. And you can't catch up with them what you've missed the day before. And I don't go to bed after midnight. Yeah, and so I'm not someone who's going to stay up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I know you lot probably would in Vegas, but the first few years I did, but nah, more sensible now.
Have you sensed a change from HPE over the years, Pete, to your latest experience?
I'll tell you what I have noticed. It went back in I won't even say, the MA days. It was so focused on the big boys, but now I'm feeling we are part of that community. We're not a big player, you know. We do some really good business and I'm really proud of it. We're not a big player like the Softcats, like the SCCs, like the good people, like the CWs. But I feel as though where before it was all about them, I don't feel as though that anymore. That's where I've seen a big change, and getting the messages out and a lot of thoughts of how. It's very much more partner-centric, without a doubt. How do we help the partner? How do we make it different? We know we've got challenges, and every big company will have challenges on processes. Because, you know, in my company, if someone says, "Oh, can we do this?" Okay, yeah, right, done, and I can do it in a minute, in seconds. You can't do that at HPE. So you've got to have strict processes, and it is frustrating. And so you probably in the audience here get shouted at by some of the partners. I need this now. I need it now. But there are reasons you can't. But I think HPE do listen and do try and change things. And I think Vegas is a good time when they bring things out. Some of the innovations they've brought out over the years, not technical, but on how to deal with the channel, probably haven't worked. But they're trying to make a difference all the time. And I've noticed that.
Yeah, I think it's both at a partner landscape and a customer. It's about innovation. We're a company of innovation. We're not fast followers. Yeah. So if it's, hey, we've got this new partner model we want to try, we're bringing this new solution to market. I think what you always have had with Hewlett-Packard and HPE is, in fact, you go back to the logo years ago, it was HP Invent, and actually what it stood for was progress and challenge to what you've got on your nose, and changing the status quo. And when you are an innovator, it means that you don't always get it right.
No, don't get it right.
But when you do get it right,
it makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think your other point there is people love to buy solutions or will make a decision on a technology solution because it's really good. But they'll equally make it on people. Yep. I have a relationship with that person. I trust what they're telling me. I have confidence that I'm not just going to be happy on the purchase of it, but I'm going to have to live with that for the next 5 or 7 years. And if it goes wrong, you know, who's going to turn up and fix it? Or the advice I was given at the start was the great advice. So I think what HPE Discover Vegas gives you in Partner Growth Summit is innovation, meeting those people to make sure those connections are strong. And actually the reason we start with partners is for all the greatest innovations we have in the world, it is the partner that turn those innovations into the outcomes and the stories for our customers. You are the front line to 99% of the customers we transact with, and that is why we have never ever not had that partner first mentality, which is drilled from. You talked about the legacy of HPE and the culture and the family aspect of it. I think the reason probably you've had such a good relationship for such a long tenure is culturally it has always been about that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's the innovation side is everything really. We try it, I mean, false dawns so many times at FGS. We try to make things better. So many of the things we do, that didn't work. But that's what you're trying to make it. It's just evolving. You're trying to make it better. And I get real pride. The salespeople sometimes don't enjoy it as much. And John Kaiser, who works for us, is brilliant at it. Client comes to us and I've got a budget of 400,000, and you're thinking, and we've had quotes for this, and we sell something at 220. Now that's something to be proud of. That is something to be really proud of, because they've got something that's what they require. And so there's a real pride. You should be proud of that. And it keeps longevity then, because that person's got to live with it.
Yeah. Pete, we talk sometimes about, clearly the first time we engage with a customer, we want to win, obviously, but but more importantly that, we want them to be absolutely convinced second time round that you're the right person, this is the right company.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it is exactly that. So the first time you engage, you might not win, but if you're credible, then you've shown that when they next have a requirement, they're going to come back to you.
Yeah. So I'm going to flip it over to you, to any of you three, all three. What's a good partner look like?
You're looking at me. So
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. But yeah, what's a good partner look like?
Pink shirt, old head.
He's going back, Matt.
Yeah. Well, you know, my legacy is I started my career at a partner, and I had the great privilege to run the channel team at HPE for several years. And time and time again, the best partnering is, like all good relationships, is about good communication. And it's about being able to have difficult conversations as well as being able to share in the successes, and you're in it together. Now, we hope we win together, but also, if we lose together. To go all in on a customer's success, and if they don't go that way that time, well, we win or learn. So it's communication. It's absolutely, from the very first moment, and we've got kind of an audience here of digital sales, and it's your, Pete is your customer, and that customer is your customer, and the actual sector of your customer that's going to be utilising and using the equipment is your customer. There's so many different layers, and if every time you're engaging the right way, that's how you build longevity, and that's how 40 years later you're still working in the industry, still selling ProLiance, buying and selling ProLiance.
I don't just sell ProLiance.
I know you don't, I know,
but
of course.
I appreciate it, yeah. Question that, sovereignty. Do you think it's not as, it's talked about as much in the UK as it is in places like France that are taking out Microsoft Teams out of government, and Germany in some regions they're taking some of the Microsoft products on AWS side. But in the UK we don't seem to be, I don't feel it as strong. I hear people talking about it. Am I just imagining that?
Well, if you're talking at a government level or a country level,
yeah, I am to an extent.
I would say I agree, and I'd also argue we've got a few political problems at the moment, haven't we? Where we're not thinking about sovereign IT or how AI can be an economic growth lever. We're actually trying to work out who the next Prime Minister is going to be, and the old one was there for less than 2 years. And
the next one might last another year. That's the next one another.
So we've got some we've got some maybe political things which maybe have overtaken events. But you're right, actually. If you actually just generally think about sovereign, why is sovereign AI such a big topic, and there's lots of kind of column inches in newspapers, and actually it's probably even coming away from IT to kind of more of a national topic. So I was presenting a lot at London Tech Week on this subject as an example. So you've got countries around the world realising that AI could fundamentally change the trajectory of where they stand on the world stage. So you might have the 50th largest economy in the world today, but if you were super advanced in AI and you were an AI exporter, does that mean you could get in the top 10? And you could never have done that before. Okay, well then you start to think, well, how could I go and do that? consuming someone else's AI, if it's American made, someone else's model, someone else's technology stack, the benefit you're going to get economically is less than if you create it yourself. And there's lots of different things that you need in the stack for AI. If you look at NVIDIA, they talk about a 5-layer cake, and it's all about how you power AI. It's about the infrastructure you've got. It's about the data. It's about the models. It's about the talent, etc. So some countries, and you mentioned Europe as a good example, but I look after the Middle East, have got national champions who are saying, we're going to be the AI organization that is going to change the economic fortunes of our country for decades. And let's go really, really quickly on that. And everyone's behind it as a national interest. In the UK, we are talking a lot about sovereign AI. There is not anywhere near the spend potential that others have got. I think there used to be the ambition, going back to a couple of years ago, there was the AI action plan. It was a 50-point plan. Sir Keir Starmer talked about it. There was things like AI growth zones and national investment.
And it doesn't seem to have moved.
And there's been some great wins along the way. So there used to be no major GPU clusters in the country. There is now one. There's a cluster at the University of Bristol called Isambard AI, which is the national resource for the UK. By the way, built and operated by HPE with the University of Bristol. It's a 5,000 GPU cluster as an example. But why I think this has got so much attention and why we're missing a trick, if you think about lots of other major technology shifts that have happened, you look at cloud as an example, our cloud economic output versus what the US have achieved is night and day. If you look at the corporation tax paid by the cloud providers in the UK, little or none. If you think about the jobs that have been grown in that cloud era in the US versus the UK, massive discrepancy. And if we do the same thing with AI and we just borrow someone else's intelligence, or we just have so much dependency with a foreign provider, then by the way, we're going to get the same lack of economic growth opportunity. And I think what the Europeans have woken up to is we need to do something about it.
And
let's go and build
up.
And
collectively.
Yeah, I think so. And you're well, actually, yes, and also countries. So and everyone's thinking about what capability they've got. You look at someone like France, very good on nuclear. So they're thinking, okay, being able to power all of the requirement, we've got an advantage. How do we do that?
Which is rather a slice of the cake.
There you go. If you look at some of the Nordic countries, it's they've got a lot of natural resources and be able to cool things quicker. Right, let's go and do that. You've got other countries like Armenia, a very small country in Armenia, that have repurposed an old nuclear power station. They've built a big AI data center around it. They've invested massively in GPUs, and they're saying to people, come and train here. Let's relax planning laws here to try and get people to build data centers here. Now, what gives me some energy, I guess, and optimism for the UK, we still have a majorly good startup community. We've got a really great
entrepreneurial.
Entrepreneurial. We've still got great education and smart people coming from our universities. We know how to raise capital.
We're the second biggest. London's the second biggest financial.
There you go.
In the world.
But we've got to get behind that. And one of the things that caught my Tech Week, actually, I'd never heard before. There was a company called Cosign, and they are the first UK provider of what's called a frontier large language model. So if you've heard of like Anthropic's Claude, they want to create that in the UK, and there's a startup going really fast, and they're going to train that exclusively at the University of Bristol on Isambard AI. So actually, we do have the infrastructure. We do have loads of things going for us.
We've got the talent, which is
We've got the talent, we've got the capital.
We've
got huge amounts of data. I mean, you look at the data the NHS has got, or the British Library. Imagine kind of using that to go and create AI outcomes which are British.
The power we might struggle with.
Those are more challenges, and actually, it's about investment. And it's about moving really quickly. What I fear is, as we're trying to work out our political who's in charge, we are missing what's a train that has already left the station and really fast.
It's going to be
I'm excited, but I'm also worried about it.
Yeah.
I'm worried about AI in general.
Yeah.
In general, the change to civilization concerns me. How are we going to get tax in? Things like that. I'm talking about on the human side of it.
Yeah.
If AI is taking over, are we going to start taxing bots and things like that? That's something we're going to have to look at as a world. You know, if you can't have 20% of the world not working, and then the tax not coming in, because it's something you've got to do.
Well, going back to your previous comment, what worries me already is, and again, if you go and look at AI as being a growth lever for a major economy, you're already seeing world leaders understand that and do things which increase their capability and reduce others. So you look at the US as two good examples. One, under the Trump administration, they limited how many GPUs could go to certain countries around the world.
Right, okay.
Right, so therefore you can't have as much GPU power as them.
So you're going to be behind in the race
Correct.
forever. Yeah.
Then Anthropic brought out this new, really powerful model called Mythos, which is all around security vulnerabilities. The US said,
scared the living daylights out of
everybody.
Yeah.
Then the US government said, don't give that to any other company apart from US companies.
Yeah.
So again, where you've made decisions of having dependency on foreign tech or foreign AI, if they can take it away from you that quickly, where does it leave us as the UK is the worry.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be, I dread to think, or I'm excited to think where we're going to be in 10 years' time.
Yeah.
It's going to be a challenging world. So, but I think we can probably wrap up now. That's right. And I really appreciate it. Really appreciate your time. And I know I think you suggested it, Joe.
Yeah,
Well, you did. Yeah, I'll give you the credit for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. We bumped into you there, and I accused you of not joining us. So now
this is my fault, Matt. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. No, but I've been really enjoying it. I hope the audience here have appreciated just how impressive HPE are. And I think you should feel as though you're lucky. It's a family, and try not to see it as a stepping stone. This is a company that it has got something special about it, and it's made my life a better life, and so can do the same to you. So, but thanks ever so much for
Mine
your time.
too. I started as a DSR in this company, or in fact as an intern and then a DSR.
I remember Paul Hunter used to sell laptops, all right? Back in the day, it was Paul Hunter and Nick Wilson, if I remember rightly. I don't remember. They used to go as a pair. And so this would have been in the 90s. And look where Paul Hunter is now, runs the USA. Not like Donald Trump, but you know what I mean. But he's a big player, isn't he?
Well, he hired me back in the day as well.
Did he? He's a smart lad, Matt.
He's made a couple of good decisions, mostly bad.
Yeah, well,
thanks for having us.
Some good, some bad, and I'm not even going to leave it at that.
Thank you.
But thank you very much. Really appreciate it, Joe.
Thank you.
Hannah, sorry you didn't get a lot to say, but I apologise. But thank you very much.